and welcome to the Art of Decluttering podcast. I'm your COVID-infected, in isolation podcast host, Amy Revell. I sound very croaky and very stuffed up in the head, so I apologise for that. But I thought what I would do is we've been in this ADHD series for a few weeks now, and I thought, do you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to send a quick little COVID isolation podcast out to you guys really quick. And what it is, it's 15 things that I've been doing while in isolation. So my husband and I were at a conference last week, and we came home. The day after we got home, we tested positive for COVID. So we've been in our own isolations. We try not to get the kids sick. What I'm really grateful for is I'm nowhere near as sick this time as I was the first time I had COVID. So the first time I had COVID, there is no way on this green earth that I would have been able to do anything that was considered productive or useful while I had COVID. I was out for weeks and so sick. But this time it's more just like a really bad cold. Like I think I sound worse than I feel, but I'm still in isolation. So I've been able to do some things. And so I thought, you know what? I love you guys. Hopefully you guys aren't going to get sick, aren't going to be in isolation. However, if for some reason you are, if you're stuck in bed, if you've busted your Achilles, if you've had a knee reconstruction, if you have your shoulder done, whatever it is, even if you've got gastro, what can you do while you're in the confines of isolation? So I'm just going to go through 15 things that I've been doing and see if any of them might resonate with you. So the first thing I've been doing is I have prolifically been unsubscribing from emails. What I find in my normal everyday life is I just find that unsubscribing from emails as I go can be quite... I don't know, it takes all of 15 seconds, but I just find it overwhelming. So I usually just delete. But what I've been doing is any email that comes through while I've been in isolation, I'm on day 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm day 5 at the moment. I've just been unsubscribing. So it's really quick and easy and it feels good. So I'm decluttering my emails by unsubscribing from things that I don't want in the future. Number 2 is I've been researching some projects that I've been thinking about but haven't actually had the headspace to research. So specifically for me, that is finding out about some things so that I can do some plant propagation. So I've just kind of been doing it ad hoc. I love propagating, but I'm not very good at it and I don't have the right things. So I've just literally been spending a little bit of time online going, what could I get to make propagation easier and more fun and more successful? And the other thing I've been researching is getting a smart lock for our front door and replacing our front door as well because it's swollen and very old. And so I've literally just had time to go on the Bunnings website and look at what a smart lock looks like and research and compare. And that's been really lovely because I haven't felt the pressure that I should have been doing something else. The next one is I have ordered for my family. My sister went to the shops and dropped off some antibacterial wipes because we'd run out. And I got a pack sent into my isolation room, which is my bedroom. And I have been using these wipes to clean everything. So I have cleaned every surface. I've cleaned the wardrobe, every shelf in the wardrobe. I've cleaned mirrors. I've cleaned inside light fittings. I've cleaned the bed and the skirtings and the light switches and the door frames. Literally the door frames. If you open up a door frame, you can see there's dust in there. I've done bookshelves, I've done mirrors, I did a really deep clean of the bathroom with them. So I don't usually clean just with antibacterial wipes because they're not awesome for the environment. But hello, being in lockdown, I felt like I could justify it. So I've gone nuts on the cleaning and cleaned things that I didn't really know needed to be cleaned, like the inside of my light fittings. Boy, oh boy, hello dust and bugs. So that's one thing you might be able to do. Another thing I've been doing is decluttering bathroom products. So I've got an ensuite. This is probably only relevant if you have an ensuite, but go through your bathroom products and just get rid of stuff that you're not going to use. Remember that makeup goes off about 12 to 24 months after you open it. And so getting rid of things in your bathroom that you are absolutely not going to use is a really great way to use your time if you're stuck in your bedroom. The next thing, and this is one I'm going to do but haven't done yet, I might do it after I finish recording this, is to actually use some of those bathroom products that I would like to use. For instance, a face mask, a foot scrub, even just to moisturize. I'm not very good at remembering to use my nail and hand moisturizer or my foot moisturizer. And so that is something you can do when you're feeling a bit rubbish. Just stopping and actually looking after yourself and using some of those products that you've got can be a good idea. The next one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is declutter clothes that you do not wear and will not wear. So you may not be feeling up to trying things on, but all I've done is just gone through and picked out a few items that I'm like, I realistically know I'm never going to wear that top again. It always feels too short, or it feels too tight, or the sleeves don't fit right. Even if you only get rid of 2 or 3 items, this is a really good time to kind of grab those, pop them in a bag, and once you're out of isolation, take them to a charity or op shop. Another thing I have done is I've gathered some receipts from donations that I've made to prepare for my tax return. So the way that I've done it is just created a folder in my email and just made sure I've kind of gathered all of those. There are a couple of like $25, $30, $50 donations that sometimes I forget when I go to do my tax return. And so by having them all together now, I feel confident that when I do the tax return, I've just got them there. Another thing, so I can tell that I've got COVID, I'm getting puffed just from talking to you guys. Another thing that I have done is I've written a couple of texts to people that I just wanted to check in on. You know how sometimes you think of a friend and you think, oh, I should reach out to them. Usually, I don't think it's just an ADHD thing. I think it's probably everybody as we think about it. We have awesome intentions, but we often forget. And so I've taken the time this week just to send some messages and say, hey, thinking of you, how you doing? I'm in lockdown and just, was wanting to check in. And so I've done that quite a few times and it's just been really nice. And it's been nice for me too, because then I'm connecting with people even though I'm locked away in isolation. The next thing that I have done is I've cleaned up some apps on my phone. And so for me, that's been 2 different types of ways. So one is that I'm going through the folders that I have on my frequently used apps. And I have them, I know this is nerdy, but I have them in color order. So like within games, then it's like rainbow color organized. And within finances, it's rainbow color organized. So I've gone through and organized and decluttered apps. And I've also unsubscribed from a heap of apps that I've downloaded over time, but just don't use. So that's created a bit of space on my phone. And it feels less overwhelming when you swipe up and have a look at all your apps and there's just, who knows how many. I've decluttered those. The next thing that I have decluttered is my photos on my phone. So I've decluttered them by backing them up, not just by deleting them all. But I have deleted some that I didn't need. So like, I've taken a photo of a receipt or taken a photo of like a screenshot of something that I've dealt with. So I've cleaned that up. And I've also backed up my photos. I use Google Drive for my photo backup. And so I have done that. It feels so good because I always stress that I'm going to lose photos if I don't back them up. The next thing I have done while in isolation, it's sounding like I'm super productive, but each of these things doesn't take very long. The next thing I've done is emptied out my bedside drawers and actually gone through them, like what needs to stay, what's rubbish, what's expired, what don't I use, what actually belongs like in the bathroom or elsewhere. And so our bedside drawers do often become a catch-all. So I've really enjoyed just going through and making that neat and getting rid of some things I didn't need. Now, for me, that had a flow-on effect to the next one, which is go through your medicines and first aid. The benefit of doing this, I wish I'd done this before I got someone to go to the chemist for me and get cold and flu tablets because I found a big box of cold and flu tablets. But if you are in isolation, if you can get someone just to bring all the medications in and pop them on your bed or pop them somewhere and you can go through them, it's really good. You can get rid of what's expired. You might be able to use some of the things that you've purchased. And so that was something that was helpful. Obviously, I found cold and flu and ultimately will then save myself probably $25 from not having to buy another box. The next thing, so number 12, is go through your old scripts. So if you still use paper scripts, go through them and get rid of any that have expired or are for medications that you're not using anymore. So I found that really helpful because there are a couple of things that the script had expired, but we were actually going to need it again. So I was able to put it on my list to ask the GP for next time we have an appointment. But yeah, going through your old scripts. Again, it's like the medications. It just feels good to go through it and get it cleared out. And it's something you can do while you're sitting in bed and feeling a bit rubbishy. Number 14 is find out if you could be getting a better home loan rate or credit card rate. Interest rates are top topics around the world at the moment, and so maybe what you can do is just jump on an online chat with your bank or your lender and just ask them, am I on the best rate possible? Could you waive charges? Could you lower the rate? Could you, what can I do to save myself some money? You might like to do that, with your insurance, your car insurance, your house insurance, your contents insurance, your business insurance, and just see, are you on the best rate possible? You could save yourself some money while you're lying in bed. Number 15. I hope you guys are putting up with my croaky voice. Number 15 is I've been taking people up on offers of help. It's not something I am excellent at, but I have taken up my dad on an offer. I've taken up my sister on an offer. I've taken up Jackie that works for us on an offer. And so as people have offered, if there is something that I genuinely need, I haven't felt bad saying yes. I'm not asking them to, go and do all my chores and housework for me. But it's like, actually, if you have capacity to do this thing, that would make a huge difference. If you have capacity to pick up the kids for this, or if you have capacity to pick up some strepsils on your way past. And so accept help. Accept help. You're probably always offering help, and you know that it's nice when your help is accepted and needed. So those are the 15 things that I have been doing in isolation. I'm going to go I think I might do a foot scrub and maybe do a really good hand and nail moisturize. I might even paint my nails. It's been a while. So I hope that is helpful. I know you guys love these quick little episodes. And so I'm going to drop this while I'm sick in COVID, in lockdown. We're still got a few episodes left of our our ADHD series. I'm getting incredible feedback from all over the world on that series. And so if you haven't been listening to them, make sure you do. I can tell via our statistics that there's a lot more people listening and when numbers are going through the roof, but also that a lot of you are kind of getting halfway through an episode, probably arriving at school drop-off or at work, and then not going back and listening to the second half. So this is also your reminder. Go back and listen to the second half of any episodes or any bits that you haven't finished, because there's goodness and gold from the start to the end. And I know you're going to get some really good insights, whether or not you're an ADHDer yourself or living with or supporting with or just interested in life hacks, because ADHDers are awesome at life hacks. Thanks for keeping me company in isolation. I hope that you are well. I hope that you stay well. And if you have capacity today, it would mean the world to me if you could jump onto Apple Podcasts and leave a review. It's always a really great way to help build the show. And that's ultimately probably how you found it. It was recommended and you saw a review, or Apple Podcasts recommended it. And so that's how other people will find the show as well. Until next time, enjoy the freedom. I would like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri people, who are the traditional custodians of the land this podcast is recorded on. I would also like to pay respects to their elders, both past and present, of the Kulin Nation, and extend that respect to other Indigenous Australians. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed today's episode, I would love you to rate and review the show on your podcast app. That will help others to find the Art of Decluttering podcast as well. If you'd like any more information, you can visit theartofdecluttering.com.au, and I would love to see you in my Facebook group. Just search the Art of Decluttering community on Facebook and join today. I hope that you have an incredible rest of your day and enjoy the freedom.